Hey second graders, Mr. Bell here. Right, ready for your next project? Alright, let's begin. This project is the Loch Ness Monster project. And you can see the Loch Ness Monster inside the water there, here in the foreground, and way off in the background you see a little castle. Well, let's talk a little bit about this, what you're going to have in this picture. Of course, we have the Loch Ness Monster, and Loch is really a Scottish word for lake. It's an Irish and Scottish Gaelic word that means lake. So it's really Lake Ness. But over there, they say Loch Ness. And let's take a little look at this map here and remind ourselves where Scotland is. And you will see this is the United States. This is where we live. And Georgia is about right there. There's Florida right below us. Across the Atlantic Ocean, go past Ireland, and there is the United Kingdom. There's Wales, that's England, and Scotland's right up here at the top part. And Loch Ness is about right there. It's a big old lake. And some people say that there's this creature that swims around in this lake and pops its head up every once in a while. And other people say, no, that's not true. It's just legend. It's all made up. It was just a stick popping up or a seal or something. But here's a photograph that supposedly shows the Loch Ness Monster. This photograph was taken in 1934. Is it real? Maybe, maybe not. But we're going to have fun with it anyway. So we're going to pretend. Anyway, so the Loch Ness Monster is in Lake Ness or Loch Ness. It's in the country of Scotland, which is part of the United Kingdom. And in this picture that you're going to make, I want you to have foreground. And here's the foreground. That's where Nessie, as they call the Loch Ness Monster for nickname Nessie, is in the foreground. And then in the middle ground, you got your trees and your hills back here. And then in the background, you have these mountains back here. All right. And then up in the sky, we're going to make it like a sunset. So we're going to blend yellow and orange. You can add red too if you want to. So you're going to be blending colors. All right. There's a lot of stuff to do on this project. And what color you make the monster, or whether you make it happy or cute or sad or scary looking, that's up to you. Maybe you want your hills to be brown and your castle gray. Think about that kind of stuff. All right. Here we go. So you'll need a sheet of paper and a pencil first. Make sure you have some crayons and markers. Use whichever one you want, or both like I did. And if you want to draw this and paint it, you can do that if you want. I'm not going to do that on this, but you can if you prefer to paint this picture. But you might want to sketch it out in pencil first. So the first thing you want to do is, let me move some of this stuff before it falls. First thing you want to do is, my map, is let's go back here and let's put a line off in the distance. That's going to be the shoreline on the other side of the loch or the lake. Okay? Doesn't have to be perfectly straight. And we'll put some hills back here. There we go. Some gentle rolling hills. And this is where you want to put your castle. It can be here or here or here. And decide where you want to have your castle, in the middle or on the right. I like to put mine over on this side. And you can make the castle look any way you want. They usually look kind of like this, but you decide. Maybe you have a different way that you do your castles. A lot of castles are in Scotland. Look kind of like this. They're made of stone. So I'm going to put some little details, some little openings here, maybe a big, those wooden doors. All right, that's fine. Something like that. That'll be fine. And off in the distance, we'll put some taller mountains. Because Scotland's very mountainous. It has lots of mountains and hills. And like that. Go to the middle. Another one. Right. Maybe that's all you want to do. Maybe you want to add some more. I'm going to have mine going all the way across. There we go. You can even put some little snow caps on top if you want. But you don't have to. Alright. Now on the shoreline here we can put some trees if you want to. We'll have some little trees along the shoreline. Way on the other side of the lake. Or the Loch Ness. Alright. You can make your tree smaller if you want. This size is fine. Those are some neat details that you could add. I'm going to have a little pathway coming down here towards the little trail that goes along here. You can do that if you want to. You don't have to. And there's a little road that goes along. You can walk along and go back up to the castle. There we go. Alright, so that's some neat stuff you can do. If I add more trees back here, they should look smaller because things further away would be really small back here. And you probably wouldn't even see these trees way off in this mountain back here. They would just look like little dots or something like this. So I'm not gonna put any back there. I don't think that'll look very good. I can put one on top of the hill though. Alright, think about this kind of stuff that you might add. But it's got to make sense, because when things are further away, they look smaller. When they're a little closer, they look bigger. Alright? There we go. Alright, now let's move into this area so we can draw Nessie. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to put the biggest wavy marks along here. Alright. These are the biggest ones. And it's okay if they go off the side of the paper. This one's going to be a little bit different than the other one, and that's okay. I'm going to come in here like this. And let me see here. I'm going to make this a cute looking one. And there's the nostril on the other side. There's part of the eye on the other side. And there's the ear on this side. That's the tip of the ear on the other side of the head. I'm going to come around like this. And we don't see the part in there. That part of the body's inside the water. I'm going to come around like this and put a semicircle shape. You might want to do your Nessie a little bit different than I'm doing mine, and that's okay. And come around like this and add some of this stuff. And come over here. Alright. There we go. Alright. And maybe I'll add some little spikes to the back. You can do that if you want to. You don't have to. Like I said, you might want to do yours a little bit different than I'm doing mine. But make sure it looks like some parts are going in the water and other parts are going outside the water. Alright, so try doing something like this with the waves and outside, under the water, outside again, under the water, and outside again. There we go. Alright, there's mine. And if you want a scarier looking one, you can put a scarier looking face. You can show teeth. You can do all that kind of stuff. I can change this really quickly if I want to. I can erase this part. I can go like this. Add some teeth in there. I can change the eye and make it look scarier. Look at that. Some scary eyebrow there. And all of a sudden, it looks scarier. I can make the ears pointier. So, just by changing the shapes, the direction of lines and the shapes, you can make your picture look a lot different. Now, as we go off into the distance, these little wavy marks You did. Look a little smaller and smaller the further away you get. Look how small they're getting back here. Way off here, they're going to be tiny. And that will create a sense of depth. Like it's really going off into the distance. See that? All right. And if you want to add a person in a boat or something, you can go along like this and don't show the bottom of the boat. It's in the water. Maybe there's somebody sailing. Yeah. Maybe they're like, yikes. I can't believe it. Hair's spiking up because they're so scared. I can't believe they just saw the Loch Ness Monster. Let me zoom in here so you can see this better. Uh-oh. You could have a boy or a girl on the boat. Maybe it's you. Maybe you're sailing a sailboat in Loch Ness and you saw Nessie and you were really super surprised. Okay. There we go. Now, once you have all of this drawn, it's time to start coloring. So I have to decide what color I want to make Nessie and all this other stuff. And I'm just going to go ahead and start with the blue wavy lines first. So I'm going to start tracing all of these because I want these to show up really good. If you don't like tracing your stuff with marker first, you can go ahead and get your crayons or whatever and just start coloring. But I think it gives it really good definition. Makes your picture pop really good, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and start tracing. And back here, I'm really using the pointy part of the marker and not pressing very hard, especially for these little wavy ripples in the water way off in the distance. Now I'm going to trace the Loch Ness Monster, and I'm going to trace mine green. The other one I showed you at the beginning of this video is purple, but you decide. Maybe you want yours to be red. Decisions you have to make. Alright, doing my shoreline back here. And I've done all my treetops with the green marker. I traced Nessie. And now I'm going to get a brown and I'm going to do my tree trunks. Little tiny lines back here. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and trace my castle. Like I said, you might do your castle a little differently than I'm doing mine. That's okay. Alright. And let's see here. There it is. Now when I color in Nessie, I'm going to do a light green on these inside parts. I'm going to do a darker green out here. So that's the next part I'm going to do. Alright, I finished him. I did light green on the spikes. I'm going to give him a red eye. And now I'm going to trace my boat. I'm just going to go ahead and color this in brown. And the flagpole. I'm going to do my sail. And my line back here, I'm going to do green. And I'm going to trace my mountains black. And then I'm going to color them in gray. And put some yellow in my windows. Do some brown on my doors. So I'm going to go ahead and do some more of that. Alright, and I'm going to color in my castle and color in this little pathway, sort of a light brown. Color in my castle a little bit darker. And I'm going to get a gray and color in my mountains. Or if you don't have a gray, you can color really lightly with black. Or you can use your pencil. That'll work too. Alright, so I'm putting the finishing touches on this. I just I'm adding the orange on top of the yellow. I did the yellow first, then the orange. When you color in, do some darker areas, some lighter areas. It'll look a little more 3D. I put a little bit darker blue under the waves and a little bit lighter around them. Makes it look more three-dimensional. Alright, there you go. There's the other one I did. And there's this one. I like this one better, but you decide. Alright, have fun with this. Can't wait to see yours. Okay, send me a picture. Bye-bye.